All right, fight fans joining us now. Friend to the room, the Mexican monster himself, Mr. David Benavidez.
What's up, champ?
I felt good, man. I just want to tell you guys, thank you guys for inviting me again. And, it was a hell of a night, last weekend. So, I'm just very happy with the way we performed as fans.
Thanks for joining us,
yes,
bro.
Sir.
I didn't make the interview before the fight. The fight was phenomenal. First off, I introduced you as a Mexican monster, right? Was that Mike Tyson that gave you that name, or were you calling yourself before that?
No, the only reason I took that name is because Mike Tyson, especially when a legend, he gives you a name, I think it's smart for you to stay with the name that legend gave you, especially something like Mike Tyson, so and then the people responded really well with this, so I just stayed with it.
That makes sense.
No doubt.
First off, I want to congratulate you, Barack. I'm sorry, on a phenomenal performance. Caleb had his moments throughout the fight, and you stood the course and fought your fight. So I described it as a fight where both of you fought your fight, but yours was superior. What's the level of respect you have for Caleb now in hindsight after watching it again the next week and a couple of weeks passing?
I have a lot of respect for Caleb Plant. We went in there, we settled our beef like men. We gave the fans a great fight. He was tough. I knew he wasn't going to have too much punching power. Honestly, I thought he was going to be a little bit faster. So if you in the first 6 rounds, you guys kind of see me a little hesitant. It's my first big fight, first pay-per-view. I wasn't really trying to make any mistakes. But after I really started getting my engine going, I think I was catching him with some body shots in the 4th round, and I caught him with the right hook to the body, and I think that just changed the trajectory of the fight. But like I said, this is a 12-round fight. These are championship fights. You don't win the first, you don't win the fight with 6 rounds. It's a 12-round fight. Yeah. So I just knew my power. I knew when my engine starts going, I'll start to flow a little bit better, and that's exactly what happened.
Right. Okay, so once your name was announced as the winner, did you feel that animosity and that anger go away completely, or did it take a couple of minutes?
No, honestly, I felt it go away right after the bell. I kind of went around the ring, and then he extended his hand, and, we shook hands. We left everything out in the ring. It's no reason to drag it more than that. We did exactly what we said we're going to do. We gave I said I was going to beat his ass. I did. That's exactly what I did. But after that, I don't hold no beef towards nobody. So I'm just happy that it ended the way it ended.
And you know what, as a fight fan and just somebody that loves and respects the sport so much, that was great to see, man, because outside of the tension that you had with him, I've always saw you as a respectful athlete but you were angry over
a nice guy. Yeah,
a nice guy. So for you to let that out and embrace, to me, I applaud you for that. I mean, I want to know what's next. And I know people are talking about Canelo. You've always been a guy to say, hey, if he's busy doing this and doing that, I'm okay with fighting the next guy. We know he wants a rematch with Bivol. He wants to end that loss if he gets past John Ryder. So there's a whole year he's tied up. So what else is going to satisfy your palate?
So what I've been hearing right now, obviously the one fight that everybody wants is Canelo. I think I earned it, but if he wants to go with Bivol, then I think that what's going to happen is that maybe, because I've been, the mandatory for the past 3 fights for the WBC belt, I think maybe he'll get stripped of that. And I was hearing some talks that he might get stripped of the WBA belt too if he doesn't accept the fight with me. So I think what comes after this, if he doesn't get in the ring, I think it might be me versus David Morrell or me versus Carlo for the WBC and the WBA belt. So even if you take Canelo out the equation, that's still huge fights for me. This is still my dream that I'm chasing after. The WBA belt is a belt that I've never had. I want to get the WBC back again, so I'll be 3-time world champion plus another belt, so I'll be 4-time world champion. And that's really all I'm in it for. I'm looking for these belts. So if we don't get the fight with Canelo, then we might get a fight with Charlo or David Morrell for 2 more belts. So there's good things on the way.
Do you feel like Charlo will take that fight? Jamal Charlo, if it's presented, do you think he would accept it?
I think it would be in his best interest to take the fight, because obviously we gave a huge fight, me and Caleb Plant. So me and Charlo would kind of be the same, but it'd be a different fight because it'd be 2 power punchers going at it, and I think that fight would be even more entertaining than me versus Caleb Plant. So I would say, if he's really a man about boxing, really cares about his fans, he'd take this fight, and if he doesn't, then we go with Morrell.
All right, well, just according to your eye test, looking at both fighters' style, Morrell and Jermall Charlo, who do you think is the better fighter?
I think the better fighter, to be honest with you, might be David Morrell because he's more of a natural super middleweight. I think the one that has a little bit more experience is Charlo, but they're both good. They're both really good. I'm actually about to head back to the gym right now after you guys are done with this interview. It's just something about these types of magnitude of fights it just took me to a different level of motivation. Yeah. After I had a whole week off after I fought Caleb Plant, and honestly, the whole week I was just thinking about boxing. Wow. I'm just excited, to keep proving the doubters wrong, keep working on my craft and keep getting better.
I don't think too many people are doubting you, David. I don't think ain't too many of those left.
Yeah, you gotta look really far to find them.
Yeah, but like I said, at the end of the day, I still want to do what the people said I can't do. If people say I can't beat Canelo, then that's really what I want to train for and get prepared for. Even if the fight happens in September, I got like 6-7 months to get ready for that. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I know where I'm going right now. I'm focused and I just want to get better and continue winning.
What's so impressive to me? You mentioned David Morrell, and he's a guy that is not a big name and is such a big threat. And there's so many guys that don't want to fight him. He's a big guy. I mean, I shook his hands once. His hands is like massive. He can punch. And you're like, I want him or Charlo. Like, you have no fear, for anybody in the sport. So that's impressive to me. What do you think about him as a fighter? Excluding Charlo, just him, his whole journey, Cuban style. Do you like his fighting style?
Yeah, definitely. He's a great fighter. I have nothing to take away from him. He's a really good fighter, really dangerous fighter. He has a Cuban school of boxing. But as of me, as a fighter, as a competitor, I want to challenge myself against these great fighters. For people, since I got this first pay-per-view fight, I really want to be a pay-per-view star in the future. So for that to happen, I gotta take these tough fights. I gotta take these tough fights, and I gotta really show the people that I am the best. I don't think you just become a pay-per-view star just by getting big fights. You have to look impressive and really give the people what they want to see, and that's a great fight. As you guys could see, I gave Caleb Plant a great fight. I didn't really take too much damage in there, but I still didn't have to dig deep enough. Not deep enough, but there's like another, once you get another gear. Yeah, there's another level. I know I can still dig deeper, you know what I mean? And I wasn't really in trouble in that fight at all. But it's going to happen one day or another. You're going to get put in these situations where you're really going to have to dig deep. And I know the best will come out of me. So I'm just waiting for that moment to happen, and I know I'm going to shine when it does.
I'm glad you mentioned pay-per-view because, you're officially a pay-per-view fighter. Yesterday's price is not today's price. But you said you want to be a pay-per-view star, so you don't feel like a pay-per-view star yet.
No, I got to be realistic too. I feel like you can't just with one fight. I can't say, "Oh, I'm already here on pay-per-view star. I call the shots." Right. With me, I'm not dumb like that. I really see it for how it is. I got to put in the work, and I got to show the people that, with me, you guys get great fights all the time. It doesn't matter if I fight David Morrell, Charlo, whatever. I want the people to see that we got to buy this guy's fight because it's going to be a great fight, like how when he fought Caleb Plant, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Me and Ak always talks about who you should fight next, and we say one of the fights that you named is a bigger pay-per-view fight. Which one do you think is a bigger pay-per-view fight, Morrell or Jermall?
I think Jermall, he's a bigger one just because we already have past history. It's basically like me and Caleb Plant. There's already so much years of, build up and talking that'll make the fight interesting. And, Charlo, he's very vocal. And like how I showed you guys, I'm not going to let nobody talk to me in a way that I don't like. So I'm going to be very vocal too. But I'm just defending myself at the end of the day.
Yeah. David, there are rumors out there that you had very much a lot of success against Bivol in sparring. Right, people I've heard, I won't say who, but he's a guy that obviously showed the world that he's an elite fighter with what he did against Canelo. There are rumors that he might want to challenge Canelo for his titles at 168 in the rematch. And then Canelo saying, "Oh, I want it at the same weight class." But is he a guy that if he does go down on 168, would you like to square off against him?
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially if he takes all the belts from Canelo. Like I said, I let my heart, the belts lead me. That's the way I'm going. I really don't care about money. I've always thought that if you do your job right, the money comes on its own. But at the end of the day, what we're looking for is we're looking for glory. You know, by the time I'm finished, I want to be multiple champion at multiple weight classes. You know,
speaking of that, would you go up to 175 to fight Bivol?
Yeah, I do. I want to go up to 175 soon. I think I'm just staying around for 2 or 3 more fights, and then we're gonna go up to 175. If we can make the fight happen with Charlo, Canelo, and then David Morrell, I mean, that's really the only thing I want from this weight class, and then I go up.
You know, I remember when they used to bring up your name with Edgar Berlanga, you were saying, you know, he's too young in the game. But there's another guy who's semi-young in the game, and that's Diego Pacheco. Do you think if those two guys fought right now, Diego would be able to win?
Honestly, I think Diego knocks him out. I think Diego knocks him out because I've been working with Diego for a long, long time, especially now he's getting older. I think he just turned 21 or 22. He's still such a young guy, man. It still shocks me how young he is, but I see him, he's working extremely hard, you know, and he lost a lot of rounds in there with me. You know, he was my main sparring partner when I was sparring for Caleb or working for Caleb Plant. So, I mean, he's a tough guy. So I definitely do think, and he's learning a lot. So I do think he knocks Berlanga out.
And he speaks highly of you. You know, every time he's on the show, he's always, you know, bragging about working with you and your family in the gym. You were one of those young guys, right? So how does it feel like now you're kind of a mentor to him and paying it forward? What does that mean to you to be able to give advice to a young fighter like that?
Yeah, so it definitely means a lot to me to give back to my peers and my teammates like that. Sometimes it's not all about money. Sometimes it's about, you know, leading the direction. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, and, you know, I tell these guys too, you know, you guys got to be careful with the stuff you do, you know, because at the end of the day, everybody's watching you. So I try to play that big brother part, you know, and then just lead these guys in the right direction. You know, sometimes if they're messing up, they're not training, I tell them, hey, bro, you guys got to get your shit together. You guys got to train, because if you're not training hard, somebody else that's in your same spot will try to take your spot. So I try to do that. But
and that's a blessing to young fighters, like somebody that has made mistakes, and you're trying to prevent them from making the mistakes you made. So, man, that's a blessing to have a fighter like yourself in the gym.
Let's just say Canelo fights Bivol in the rematch at 168, and Bivol wins again. And would you still want to fight Canelo at all, or would you just go straight for Bivol? But let's say you fight Bivol, would you still want to fight Canelo?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if Canelo wins or loses, I mean, I feel like Canelo's still going to be a big draw. Not only because of the money, because he's a legend. You know, I feel like the people that share the ring with him at the end of the day are grateful, because there's fighters like that fighters from certain era that you're always going to remember. You know, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo. So for you to, like, you know, really try to challenge yourself and be at the top of your game, you have to face somebody like that. And that's definitely where I want to be. You know, I want to be like how he was for his generation. I want to be the same fighter as my generation. You know, I want to be a top fighter. And I think that's not going to happen unless I challenge or, you know, showcase my skills against Canelo Alvarez and see.
So which one would be more tempting for you? If Bivol was to win at 168, you say you go for the belts right now with Bivol, or go straight to Canelo if you were offered both?
To be honest, I mean, I would go for the belts against Bivol, and then, you know, I believe in my skills, and then after I beat Bivol, you know, the fight with me and Canelo be that much bigger. In my opinion.
Yeah, you know, Deontay Wilder recently made some statements about you and Canelo, saying that he's way too small for you. There's no way he can beat you. Do you think that if people start saying that a little too much, if you do fight Canelo and win, you won't get the credit you deserve, because he's really not he's not a big 168 pounder?
I don't know. I mean, it's just funny the way the narrative changes. Before I fought Caleb Plant, what I did to Caleb Plant, everybody's like, oh, he's too flat-footed. You know, he can't cut off the ring, this and that. Right. And now that I do what I did to Caleb Plant, you know, everybody's like, oh, maybe Canelo be too small. But I try not to listen to none of that. You know, I try not to listen. I just try to do my job. You know, I just try to train, prepare. And then when we get in there, we'll see. You know, we're never really going to know what happens until we both get in there and face off.
Right. I'm one of those people who said years ago, Canelo's too small for 168 pounders, and he proved me wrong. So if you were to beat Canelo, you deserve your props.
No doubt, no question about that. Now listen, pound for pound, the pound for pound list is subjective, right? Your name is mentioned so much, but when people are creating pound for pound lists, they haven't put you in that top 10 yet. Do you feel like with the Caleb Plant win, you deserve to be in the top 10 pound for pound fighters, or is that something that isn't important to you?
No, to be honest with you, I think if I fight David Morrell or Charlo and I win 2 more belts, I think that's when I'm a man about, rankings. I respect all that stuff a lot. I feel like if you take all that out the equation, there's no way that you could measure judge it. Yeah. So I mean, right now, after with the fight with Caleb, with the win with Caleb Plant, I don't think so. But after a fight with like Morrell or Charlo, and when I win 2 more belts, then yeah, exactly. I think
you are the most truthful fighter of all time, bro.
And you know what? Like I would say that even one win, one with either of those guys, I don't think you have to win 2 more fights. I think one other big win, you deserve to be in the top 10.
I meant like either if I fight Jamal Charlo or David Morrell for both the belt, and then
that's another belt.
Like at the end of the day, bro, like I try not to feed into like a lot of this shit. Like I just try to be real to myself. You know what I mean? And be real to like all the great fighters in front of me. Everybody has to earn their shot and earn their spot like everybody else. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Right. But there's a guy out there who people say a lot that was avoided. He's getting older. He hasn't had that marquee fight yet. That's Demetrius Andrade. Are you interested in a fight with him at all?
Yeah, I definitely am interested in a fight. But what I've been noticing with these guys, me, I'm a big 168 pounder. I feel like, especially now after fighting Caleb Plant, these guys, they really don't have nothing for me to like keep me off of them. And I think if I fight Demetrius Andrade, it would be the same thing as I did to Caleb Plant. They can move around really good for the first couple rounds. But the thing about me, bro, my training camps are crazy. I'll be in there 4 months. I'd actually be sparring 20 rounds. Like, this is no this is really what I do. So I'm not going to get tired. Like I pride myself in that. I'm not going to get tired. As you guys seen, after the 6th round, the fight just picked up, and I remember watching the fight like, damn, I was really beating the shit out of him for the whole round, for every single round after the 6th round, and it's just amazing to see that. But like at the end of the day, I put in the work, and I know I could do this, and especially if I keep motivated how I am now, then nobody's going to be able to stop me.
Were you surprised that you didn't stop Caleb?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm just, to be honest, I've been looking at the fight. I'm a little disappointed. The only reason I didn't stop him is because of stuff on my end, but not having my feet. My feet. I need to work on a little bit more foot movement. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because and then too, what was f***ing it up was the referee too. He kept warning me for Caleb Plant hugging and all this type of shit. So, I mean, it's just, I just need to work on my foot movement a little bit. And that's really what's going to be the key. But that's exactly what we're going to work. And that's why I wanted to start working in the gym now. As soon as I correct that, I'll be able to get stoppages more easier.
Okay.
No question about it. You're one of the most exciting box fighters in the sport, man. I can't wait to see you in the ring against anybody, bro.
Congrats again, brother.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, man.
Introducing the new DAZN Boxing Show podcast. No matter the time or the place, getting your boxing content has become easier than ever. Tune in as we give you exclusive insights, predictions, fight night recaps, and more alongside the biggest names in the game. All for free. Available globally every Thursday across all audio streaming platforms and with new episodes dropping weekly to give you the latest news. Just type in the DAZN Boxing Show podcast, listen in, and enjoy.